guys, it's Adia, Aaron, and Katie, and we are 29 and chronically online. Before we get into this episode, we just wanted to remind you to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. We also have an Instagram at 29 and .co and a TikTok at 29 and co. And guess what? We have a YouTube, where you can watch all of our videos. So we love you guys. Thanks so much for listening. Now let's get to the good stuff.
Welcome back, you guys. Hello. Today we are going to be talking about something very near and dear to Katie's heart.
Is it near and dear? That's like a
I think so, because your Twitter account has been blowing up talking about this. So
yes. So today we're talking about the Oscars, and it's funny that you say that because I told everyone last week when we were talking about the Emmys, I said Oscar noms come out next week. Don't be surprised when you see my Twitter, and that's all that's been on my feed this week. So today I do have a presentation for everyone. We are gonna start with a quiz for you guys, and then and then we're gonna move into the nominees of this year, some wins, some snubs, some thoughts and opinions. And the Oscars, this is what, year 96, so we are basically in 2023, and that's it. Everything else is omitted. If you guys have opinions about prior awards, feel free to mention, but for the sake of time, I just felt like I cannot do a full, we're not doing a deep dive on the Oscars. We're going to talk about this year. So
perfect.
All right.
I feel like I'm going to be really bad at this quiz.
That's okay.
I can't wait.
No,
That's
there's no way to
okay.
lose the quiz. We're not taking points.
It's a quiz. You can either pass or fail.
No. I guess, but I'm not keeping score. So, I just felt like I included these photos. I thought they were fun. On the left, Kei Kwan, who won Best Supporting Actor for Everything Everywhere All at Once last year. And then on the right, the two announcers for the Oscar nominees from this year. We'll get into more of that later, but just thought it was fun. All right. Oh no. There we go. Let's start with a quiz. Okay. Why did I cover this? Okay. What film out of these three do you think has the most Oscar nominations? Titanic, All About Eve, or La La Land?
La La Land. Because I just remember
La La Land as
being
well,
like a big
even
thing.
even though I didn't think it was like that amazing. But I think La La Land.
Personally, me
shouldn't have, but yeah.
I love that. And you are both right, but also all three of the answers were correct.
Okay, so it's a trick question.
We love a trick question for the first one.
And
great.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want it to be, but when I was Googling the answers, I'm like, how do I put 4 options up here and 3 of them are tied? I felt like it was all or nothing, you know? Mm-hmm. They all had 14 nominations. They didn't win them all. I think Titanic won 11. La La Land won 6 or 7. Couldn't tell you about All About Eve.
Wow.
Don't know anything about that movie.
Never heard of her.
Me neither.
Nothing about her.
Who's even in it? I'm trying to read that thing down there. Don't even worry about her. 50s, 60s, who knows? All right. Good job, you guys. I love it.
Nice.
All right. Now, which film has the most Oscar wins? We have Titanic, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or Ben-Hur.
I'm going to guess Titanic.
Yeah, because you just said 14. So if no one else, or 11. So if no one else has had that many nominations, then, okay. 1 + 1 equals 2. So
I know I gave you guys too much info to start. So you're both Titanic?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are all Katie,
you little shark.
Oh my gosh. This was not my choice, okay? So the thing is, they all had 11 wins. I couldn't tell you about Ben-Hur. We just love like the old shit that like got nominated for all this stuff that I don't know anything about. But so Titanic, as we just saw, was nominated for 14. They got 11. Okay, the crazy thing about Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, that's the third one. It was nominated for 11 Oscars and it won all 11 Oscars it was nominated
That's
for.
so iconic.
And
No,
unheard
it like
of.
is. No, it literally is. This is when I was looking at like a list of notable awards and like who's holding like the titles and stuff, like this movie is the only one to have done that, like in that biggest sweep is what they called it. And it's like,
Ooh.
it was. I just rewatched it last week and she earned them. So anyway, love that. I think that's the actual last trick question. Again, how do I put 4 options on there and then make you guys like pick one when there's 3 winners?
The second time around, yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do. All right.
Okay.
Now this one, what person has the most Oscar nominations? So we have Walt Disney, John Williams, and Meryl Streep up here.
I don't know why I was expecting to see Mickey Mouse instead of that picture of Walt Disney. I'm like, who is that man? Who is
I
that
don't know
man?
him.
I know
No.
Mickey.
The crazy thing is when I was, because like when I was doing this, the brand is just so associated with the mouse. Like truly, it's like, oh yeah, he was a real person. Like you kind of
like
forget.
that's his
it's
name.
Crazy.
Like his name is actually
like Walt Disney is like an actual person and not just like a name that was like made up to be like, oh, you know, who made Disney.
Like
anyway,
there's still Disney's around. Sorry, we're getting in the family tree now. I'm gonna go with Meryl Streep just because you put a picture of her in here holding the Oscar, so I'm gonna think that's a hint.
I'm gonna go with I'll go with John Williams, so we don't have the same answer.
Do you know who John Williams is?
No.
He makes the music for Star Wars. I do.
Oh,
he makes the music
there
for
we
Star
go.
Wars.
So
yes, he's the composer for Star Wars. Of course I know that.
Yeah, we'll get to that one day. And I love that you picked Meryl because of the Oscar, because like I was thinking this, I was like, I bet someone's gonna pick her because of this. And it was not meant to be a trick, but she is not the winner.
So it's Walt Disney.
It is Walt Disney. He does have 59 total nominations, which is crazy.
Like actual Walt? Actual Walt? Or like, okay.
That's what it said when I was looking it up. And
interesting.
It's literally crazy. And then John Williams has 54.
Okay, so I was close.
Oh yeah, he's close. And I think I read that he has the most nominations for like someone who's still alive, which I mean, he's only 5 off from Walt Disney, so I guess that checks out. And then I was trying to find somebody else like comparable to the two of them because I'm like, all right, who else? Like, this has been around for 96 years. Somebody's got to have like 50 as well, but I couldn't really find anybody. So I don't know. Maybe there's someone out there and they're just not known. But Meryl was like the kind of closest. She was one of the most nominated actors, just like in general. I think
deserved.
I was gonna say how many wins I think she has, but that might be the next question. So I don't think she's in the next question, but it might lead to something. So I'm just gonna keep it moving. So what person has the most Oscar awards won? We have Walt Disney, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Dennis Muren.
Wait, what was the previous question?
Nominations. So up for 59 awards. How many of those 59 did he win? We don't know.
I thought those were wins, and that's why I was like, Walt did all of those?
Walt mean.
He was cranking them out.
He was though.
I'm still gonna say Walt Disney.
That's a lot of nominations to compete with.
I mean, why not?
I know we're not judging the photos here, but like I don't like that Daniel Day-Lewis is not Abraham Lincoln in this photo.
Please.
And that it's like actually him. Don't like that.
It's
very off-putting.
It's kind of triggering, honestly.
I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I'm gonna go with Walt too.
And you guys are both correct. 22 wins. Yes. So he has lost a lot of those awards.
Yes.
Daniel Day-Lewis has 3. I think that, they'd probably all be for acting. I know some people are producers, but whatever. Dennis Muren, I think he has currently the most awards that were won by a living person. Although I don't know. John
what?
Williams must
Who
have
is
won
he?
something. He's like oh my gosh, a visual effects supervisor or
Oh,
something like that.
okay.
Yeah. Hence why
I'm
the
with
photo
you.
like kind of is the way it is too. Like he's not out here on a
You just read him for filth, Katie.
You really did.
Oh.
I mean, look at Walt's headshot. Like, please.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
I don't know what to tell you.
That was
Poor guy.
so funny.
So now we're moving on to the nominees for this year. And I want to just start by shouting out the announcers for the nominees this year. I watched it live on YouTube. 8:30
We know. We know.
No, for real. I was screenshotting as they were being announced. So yeah, here they are. Okay, the crazy thing is I thought it was crazy that we were up at 8:30 in the morning doing this. They were on Pacific time. They were in LA. So like these two out here at 5:30 a.m. beats the gods.
That's
like love that for them.
crazy.
Yeah.
So we love our Nepo baby Jack Quaid.
King shit. And
we love him.
We love that he was in Oppenheimer and announced like basically, you know, there are 13 nominations.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, and for me.
And me.
And to me. Yeah.
I know. I don't know how much like he would really get credit for, because did you guys see Oppenheimer? Either one of you? Okay. I mean, he's like a side character.
Like my daily life. I don't need to see Oppenheimer. A bunch of white men blowing stuff up. That's
no, you are so real for that. And it being 3 hours. Yeah.
That's also
that's too long.
It really is. If I wouldn't have seen it in IMAX, I don't know if I would have seen it. Like, because you know the screen's just so big and you're so there. If I was watching it at home or even in another theater, I don't think I could have done it. It's just like a lot. Shout out to the announcers. I'm including this year's notable nominees and my opinions. I've included the nominees for categories that I have thoughts on, so we will not be touching on every category. We will not be talking about sound editing.
I love it.
We will not be talking about cinematography.
This
also,
is our
who has the time?
podcast, so we talk about what we want. Okay.
Exactly. And I probably could have included a few more things on here. Like I don't have score on here and I have thoughts about the score, but like it might come up. Oh, you do? Okay. So maybe we'll circle back around. I based it on the screenshots that I took during the announcement ceremony. So I was like, you know what?
That's when you
those in the moment were important enough to me. So that's what we're going with. And then I put a little caveat at the bottom, which I think we've already discussed. Way more history here than I will not be touching base on. It's just can't be done, and that's okay. Starting hot with nominees for actor in a supporting role. I am Jack Quaid right now. I'm about to read them all off. So Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, screamed when that happened. Robert De Niro, Kills with Flower Moon, no surprise. Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer, no surprise. Ryan Gosling, Barbie, shocked. We were jaw dropped. I was shocked. And Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. Have any of you seen any of these movies or clips from any of these?
I
saw Barbie.
Okay, yes. Okay. So not starting off great for this category.
I'm just gonna say, like, I texted when we were talking about what we should do for today. I was like, if it's Oscars, I'm going for Person of Color or Cillian Murphy. So right here, we know where
Sterling Brown.
my eyes are.
You would be right. That is also who I want to win. Not that it's a guessing game of who I want to win, but I would love for Sterling Brown to win. I saw American Fiction the other day and his performance, I literally was crying in the theater for like just like one subtle thing he did. And it's like, please. So I would love for him to win. Unfortunately, I don't see it happening. I just foresee the Oscars giving it to Robert Downey Jr. I see it in my crystal ball and I hate it. And it's just like, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving, I don't know, he might have an Oscar already. I didn't look, but it's kind of giving like they feel like he deserves it, even though.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was in there.
Yeah. And the thing is, he was like they did like flashbacks and flash forwards and stuff. And so he was in the flash forwards. I just felt like he didn't even come alive until like the last 20 minutes of the movie. Like,
when it was already 2 hours and 40 minutes.
And he's like, now's my time to shine. Thank you.
Exactly. So I just see it happening. And if it happens, I'm starting to make peace with that today as we speak, because
you have to
take the time. Yeah, I do. I do feel like we need to take a moment to discuss the elephant in the room that is Ryan Gosling in this nomination.
Yeah, because what is that?
It's crazy.
I just felt like since Barbie was such a popular movie, like obviously he would get a nom, you know?
Yeah.
Even though does he deserve or not? Whatever.
No.
But like I just think he would be there.
That's fair. I mean, was he a good Ken? Like, yes. Like he was cast well. But
Ken as a character though is not hard to.
Well, exactly. That's the thing.
You know.
It kind of could have been any actor, probably. You know, I mean, they had 10 other Kens in the movie, the hundreds of other Kens in the movie.
Yeah.
So I was actually very surprised. I probably shouldn't have been, but 8:30 in the morning, baby. This is one of the first categories that they announced, and I was like,
you're like.
They came out swinging with it.
They really did.
They actually did. There's some snubs that I wrote like up here, so like in a couple slides. So we'll get to those because I would have loved to seen a couple other people in his slot instead. And even if they didn't win, I just feel like they deserved like the nod, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. That was a lot already. Nominees for adapted screenplay. So I don't have as much to say about this category. So we have American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I just wanted to include it, one, because I screenshotted it, obviously. Two, because right before the Oscar nominations came out, Christopher Nolan was on this like PR like tirade. And he's like, if Barbie gets a nomination for adapted screenplay, like he didn't say this like specifically, but basically he's like, it's stupid because what's it based on? It's based on a doll. It's not based on a story. And it's like, but it was like based on something. Like they had to,
yeah,
well, you know, it's
adapted.
Like, it is adapted. No, for real.
Barbie was around before, and now there's a movie about it. So it's like
Barbie's older than Oppenheimer, so
maybe.
I'm like pretty sure Barbie came out like the 30s. How old is Oppenheimer?
I mean, guy. He was like, you know, 30s in World War II, so maybe.
So 1940.
He might be a little older, but like generally speaking, it's ridiculous. They're both based on like, I know Barbie's a doll, but like generally based on a person, right? And Oppenheimer's based on a person. And I know they're going to say that the screenplay was based on a book, but it's like the book was based on like a biography / autobiography / whatever. So it's all based on these people. So I just love when Barbie got announced. I was like, literally, how mad is Christopher Nolan right now? Like, where is he?
He's fuming
in LA, sitting in those like seats waiting for this. Are you Googling it? Who's older?
I was wrong. Oppenheimer was born in 1904.
That's what I thought. I was like,
Barbie
was making the ball.
Whoops. I don't know history. Barbie was 1959.
Okay. You know,
but whose legacy? You know, whose legacy is more important? Thank you.
For the three women in the room, Barbie had a bigger impact.
For sure.
Yeah, Miss Barbara herself. Exactly.
Yes, thank you.
So I love that. So I just wanted to include that specifically for those two comments, because these other ones, I don't know what Poor Things was based on, but I know American Fiction and Zone of Interest. I think Zone of Interest was also a book. Haven't read the books. Can't say if it was, I mean, I didn't read there was no Barbie book, didn't read Oppenheimer, but whatever. Anyway, just thought it was fun to include because Christopher Nolan somewhere is pissed right now that he's up against Barbie. And I love it. I did include original screenplay as well. I also don't have much to say about this, and I don't actually have a fun point either, but Anatomy of Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, Past Lives. Actually, I do have something to say. It's about Maestro. Have you guys seen anything on Twitter about Maestro?
Just the picture of Bradley Cooper looking sad.
Okay.
I've seen like the like trailer. That's basically
it. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's kind of a lot. There is a campaign online to have Maestro lose every category that they're in.
It's crazy.
It's not like the Teen Choice Awards where like people vote. Like I'm confused. Is it like the Academy that's doing this, or
no,
so
like it's just
funny.
regular people, and I think they're just trying to like get the name out there of like we hate Maestro. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't speak on it, and that's a whole nother thing. But everybody was coming for Bradley Cooper because he was like, I've been training for 4 years to be like
Conductor,
and he did this whole like they did like you guys might have seen it because you saw him in the trailer and you saw a photo of him looking sad. Like they did like a lot of makeup on him and they gave him like a prosthetic nose, and that was like he did like an interview and someone asked him about the prosthetic and he's like it was just so weird the way he answered. He said something like, we toyed with the idea of just using my real nose, but he's like a Jewish man and I really wanted like that to come through. And it's like, what does that have to do like with the prosthetic? Like it's giving weird energy.
It's so funny.
So people are basically like, I mean, basically everyone's over method acting just like as a whole, right? Like even Hollywood is like, I've seen so many women interviewed who are like, method acting is a sham. Like you should not be treating people in your life terribly just to be like a method actor. And I just feel like Bradley did that and people were like, come on, let's
why
move
did
on.
he do it for 4 years? I'm like, okay, I get if it was like like a action movie or like something where he really had to like show off his skills, but like what was there to practice for 4 years? Was he actually doing the music? Like I'm so lost.
That's the crazy thing. Like there was a scene that supposedly was filmed live that he was conducting, but it does beg the question of like it didn't necessarily need to be recorded live. Like just because it was and that's what made it in the movie, that was like a choice. Like if it didn't work out, like it's in my head it felt more like choreography when I was watching the scene. Again, I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the clip of the scene everyone's talking about and it's like it's choreography. Like you practice the movements and like if you do that, then that should be enough, I guess.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are comparing it to in 2022 there was a movie that came out that was called Tar with Cate Blanchett. I don't know, I didn't watch it, you guys might not have seen anything about it. It was nominated for a few Oscars as well, but she was also a conductor and she did not do this 4.5 year stint and it was just as effective. So people are like really coming for Bradley Cooper.
That's crazy.
So every nom you see for Bradley, just keep that in mind that people are out there rooting for his downfall for seemingly no reason. And I'm kind of living for it because, hater first.
Always, yes.
And I love it. So interesting. The Holdovers is on here. I watched that a couple weeks ago. It's pretty good, but interesting that it was on there for screenplay. I wasn't expecting that. Haven't seen Anatomy of a Fall. Haven't seen Past Lives. They are on my list because we'll get to a later point. But May-December, have you guys heard about that one?
Yes.
Julianne Moore, Charles Melton.
Yes, the young, really hot guy, the old,
Yes. Based on a true story. I don't think it says that in there, but I do not anticipate watching that because it grosses me out. So
that's why I haven't watched it.
Me neither. So I was surprised that I think this is the one category that it got a nomination for, I think. And I'm like, that's crazy. I won't be watching. All right. Visual effects. I included this on here for some reasons that you may be able to deduce just by looking at these nominees. Anything stand out to you guys that's interesting?
Godzilla?
Mission Impossible?
Wait.
Like what?
Wait. What is going on in this category? Literally,
it's so chaotic.
Napoleon is on there.
Please,
Napoleon,
like a timepiece movie for visual effects compared to Guardians of the Galaxy.
I mean, they had all those war. I don't know.
Okay, so they were just throwing movies at the wall. It has a visual effect in it.
When this category was announced, like I know I said my jaw dropped for like Barbie and Ryan Gosling. I was taken aback. I think I paused the stream. I was like, what is going on in this category? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it because I do think a lot of the time there's a lot of movies out there that are Oscar bait that like they make it because they know the critics are gonna love it. And it's like, I do love the idea that like a Godzilla movie's on here because we should be including more movies like that. Those people put hundreds of hours into those visual effects. Like I've seen the trailer for Godzilla. That movie looks crazy. So I love it. I was shocked. I was taken aback, flabbergasted. The Mission Impossible.
That's
when Jack Quaid read that. Hello?
Come again?
This whole thing. And I don't know. Guardians was interesting. Again, I feel like I'm saying that for a lot of these. I didn't see it, but like at this point, Marvel's kind of fallen off. So like I really didn't see Volume 3. So I'm like, out of all of the Marvel movies, like that's the one. I don't know if other ones have gotten it for visual effects before, but I just was like, that's an interesting moment. So I love this category. I can't wait to see who wins.
It's so chaotic.
I don't even have a guess. I really can't even say. Just like I kind of hope it's Godzilla, but TBD, I guess. All right, actor in a leading role. Now we're getting into the drama. Bradley Cooper, Maestro. We just heard about him. Coleman Domingo, Rustin, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. I know Aaron's pulling for Cillian.
I just love him as an actor. So
yeah,
anything he does, perfect.
Yeah.
I do love Coleman Domingo, how he looks.
Please. I'm obsessed with him. His outfit at the Critics' Choice Award where he was like in that yellow bedazzled like, cape. Yeah. Please. I can't wait to see him at the red carpet for the Oscars. Yeah, I'm kind of if I had a prediction, I'm thinking Cillian's got this one. I would love a Paul Giamatti win, and his performance was really excellent. It's tough to say between him and Cillian who actually had the better performance in my opinion, because like there was just so much nuance with Oppenheimer. Like, okay, my issue, I'm gonna go back a little bit. My issue with Oppenheimer, generally speaking, is it was a lot of close-up shots. So almost every scene is like, I mean, like their faces are like this. Like, it's like, and that's every scene. So like Cillian's talking and then it switches and it's like Emily Blunt's talking, and are they even in the same room together? You know what I mean? So there's nuance in that. Like it's so close up that like even the minuscule facial details that they like do for the characters, like I think is impressive and important. But Paul Giamatti's performance, I was believing him as like a tenured teacher who had nothing left to live for. And I just felt like he had a lot going for him in that movie. I don't see it happening, and that's unfortunate. I do think Cillian's getting it. He was great in Oppenheimer. I would love, like, if anyone else is gonna get it, I hope it's Paul. But
want to be Bradley Cooper.
Please, I can't. I'm on the same train as all these people.
Like, just knowing it'll be him, and he'll be
Bradley Cooper hate train.
Yeah, we're on it. Sorry, everyone.
Gosh.
The Jeffrey Wright nomination, I think, is great. I saw American Fiction the other day, like I mentioned. I do think Sterling Knight's performance was better. Jeffrey Wright is amazing. He held his own, and I mean, he was the leading actor in the movie. He held his own, but just thinking about who else is in this category, I do think his was maybe third. I haven't seen Rustin, so I can't say. I mean, I haven't seen Maestro, but I know enough about Maestro that he's fifth for me. But yeah, TBD. I think it's gonna be Cillian, but we'll just have to see. Actress in a leading role. You guys have heard about this category this year. Annette Bening, Lily Gladstone, Sandra Hüller, Carey Mulligan, Emma Stone. Some of these I was expecting to see. Actually, just two of them, Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone.
Where's Margot?
I was waiting. So the thing is, I did not expect Margot to be on this list before the stream started. And then I'm watching the stream. They nominate Ryan Gosling. Shocked. Okay, sure. They nominate America Ferrera. I don't have the supporting actress one. It didn't matter enough. I should go back and we should talk about it, but whatever. I didn't screenshot it at the time. I have a clear winner for that one. It's Divine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers. I hope she wins. But when America Ferrera was announced, I was also a little shocked. So knowing coming into this category that there were 2 other actors from Barbie nominated, and Barbie has all these other noms, I was expecting it a little bit. Again, wasn't expecting it before the stream, but as they're announcing all these people, I'm like, how do you nominate these other 2? Yeah. How do you nominate everyone else and then just leave the lead actress?
The Barbie? Yeah.
Do I think she had the best performance?
No.
I mean, again, from some of these other ones I know about up here, probably not, but just given the trend of things, it was a little shocking. So I could see why people were shocked.
Yeah.
For sure.
It doesn't help that it was so popular either, because I mean, it was the highest grossing movie last year, $1.5 billion. So the second highest movie was the Mario movie at 1.4 billion. So
the Mario movie?
Yes. Yeah. That's what it was, right? Mario? I like the hour and 15 one.
Super Mario movie? Made $1 billion with a B?
B. And then Oppenheimer was third at 70 million. Literally, Barbie made double Oppenheimer. Yeah. So 1.5 billion. So even if she didn't have the best performance, it was just a little interesting. Just like a little. I don't know. A notable snub from this category, I haven't seen it, as I've mentioned, but Past Lives, Greta Lee, a lot of people have talked about her performance. It's on my list to watch before the Oscars. I can't say much more about it, but I know that was a notable snub for a lot of people. I would love for Lily Gladstone to win this. She is the fan favorite. Again, there's no votes. This is not the Teen Choice Awards. But from clips I've seen, I would love for her to win. I'm on the fence about watching Killers of the Flower Moon. I read the book. It was okay. I think the movie will be better. Why is the runtime 3.5 hours?
Oh,
no.
That's crazy. You can cut some things off. You can.
That's what I'm saying. The audiobook was 9 hours. So like, what are we, what's missing
The script is just the book.
No, for real. For real. But from what I've heard, Lily Gladstone is like a standout. So I would love for her to win. I would not be surprised if Emma Stone won. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. The other 3, I don't see it happening. I just don't. Maestro, nobody was, okay, the other thing, there's this whole tirade against Maestro, as I just mentioned. Not one person has talked about Carey Mulligan in Maestro. They're all just against Bradley. So when they announced, I was like, I didn't know she was in that movie because everyone's just talking about Bradley.
Yeah.
So funny.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We're pulling for you, Lily. If you're listening, we love you and we're pulling for you. But Emma might take it, unfortunately, just from what I've heard.
Haven't seen one movie on that list.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Someone held a gun to my head and said, describe the plot of these movies. Done.
I could be like, oh, Maestro is about, who was it? Leonard Bernstein?
Don't even know the guy's name.
There you go.
I don't either. Maybe I'm not gonna watch it. That's the thing.
No, like I'm not gonna watch any of these, but
Actually, I take that back. I might be watching Maestro. We're gonna get to that. It might be the next one. I can't remember. It is the next one. Nominees for Best Picture.
Wow.
So my goal is to watch all of these, which is fine. We love that. I watched a few. So I've seen American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, Oppenheimer. I'm seeing Poor Things tomorrow. The thing is, a lot of these movies are not necessarily readily available to me at the moment. Killers of the Flower Moon is on Apple TV Plus, and I will not be getting a subscription just to watch that 3.5 hour long movie. The Zone of Interest, AMC says it's playing. There are no showtimes in my area.
Oh my
Anatomy of a Fall and Past Lives, kind of same situation. The problem, Maestro's on Netflix. And we know I hate Netflix. However, they allow me to watch things in 1.5x speed. So do we think I could just
crank that out, sister? Crank it out.
I think I could. So unfortunately, I may be committing to watching it. But I don't know. I really couldn't tell. I would love to guess for Best Picture. it could be any of these right now. I don't know if they would commit to Barbie, just because it made a lot of money. But there's other movies on here that the Academy probably liked
I don't
more.
think it was that good. Like, it was a movie. Like,
well, that's the thing. Yeah. Like, compared to some of these
fun.
others.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is like top tier.
Like, it had its moments
Mhm.
here and there, but it wasn't like the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And I think that's the thing. Like, it being up here for Best Picture, I think it had to be. First of all, they got 10 movies up here. You might as well give them, like, throw them up there, call it a day. You know what I mean? At least a nod. But then, yeah, when you think about some of these other movies, they might have had more of an impact. I could see it going to Oppenheimer. I would love for it to go to something else too. I don't, after watching American Fiction, I don't think it would go to them. It's kind of interesting. The movie itself, I loved it until the last like 20 minutes. And then they do this weird like meta thing where they like fake the ending. And it takes you out of it because there's a lot of threads going on. There's threads on like stereotypes and racism in the publishing industry, and threads on family trauma and like illness and family, whatever, like all this, like you have all these threads, and then you like fake the ending and say like it ends, and they're like, oh, they pretend that they're creating a movie. So they're like talking to a producer and they're like, is that how we want the movie to end? And you're like, wait a minute,
what movie is that?
American Fiction. And so I don't know how the book
spoiler
ended, like, yeah, I know.
I was waiting.
I mean, we made it pretty far.
The full ending of this movie, and you're like,
I know, you're pretty quiet.
I thought you were talking about something else.
We made it pretty far into this episode without me like really outwardly spoiling something.
Wow.
Though, so
I was gonna watch that though.
I don't think you were, Adia.
Were you?
That's the thing. Out of all the movies on here, I don't think you're watching American Fiction, unfortunately.
So funny.
I don't know if you're watching any of them. Killers of the Flower Moon's 3.5 hours long. Oppenheimer's 3. I mean,
she watched Barbie and that's it.
And I barely watched Barbie because I was on a date, so I was not even paying attention.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's sad because I do feel like, okay, I don't know. Do you guys go to the movies like in general often, or do you watch like a lot of stuff at home, or both, like a mix of both? Like, I'm a movie girl, so like I'm just curious.
I would say
Erin's not watching any of these movies like... ever. Yeah. Erin's watching
K-dramas,
but so like, you're right.
I love going to a movie. I just saw Mean Girls, so love that.
I was gonna ask if you saw it. It was a fun time.
But I think I do watch actually more movies at home.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking, I feel like that changes the perspective of some of these. Like, the first time I saw Barbie, the theater was so like reactive, like people were laughing, and I think there was some claps, which is like cringy, but also like it kind of is an experience in itself, right? Like when I'm at home, like when I'm about to watch Maestro in 1.5 times speed, I'm not getting any like I'm not getting any of like what is happening. Like, it's all my opinion,
just you sitting
like,
yeah,
like I'm watching American Fiction, and me and the guy next to me are laughing out loud at the joke that was just made. Like, I just feel like it makes like the experience a little bit better. So I don't know, I would love some insight into how these people vote for some of these. Like, how are you guys picking what the best one is? Did you see them all in theaters? Did you all watch them in your own personal like home movie theater? I would just love to know. And I would love to be in on the votes next year. So, I obviously didn't go over every category. Just to recap, this is obviously a screenshot from Twitter. These are the nomination counts. So Oppenheimer's at 13. So they're up there. They're one nomination away from being tied with, Titanic with our top whoever else. 3. Yeah. I was surprised that Poor Things had 11 nominations. When they were reading off all the Poor Things nominations, I was like, oh my God.
What is that movie about? Because I just keep seeing Emma Stone looking like she's constipated. So
I think I'm gonna hate it. That's the thing. Nikki watched it, and my understanding, so it's a male writer and director, and he's like telling the story of like a girl becoming a woman. And there's
Hate
definitely
already.
like sex. No, right. And there's definitely like sex involved. I know that for sure. So I'm just like, I think I'm gonna hate it. That's what I told my sister, which is why I haven't watched it up until this point. Like it's been playing at AMC for a month and a half, and but now that it's like up for Best Picture, I'm like, I guess I'll go see it. It also, I have heard that people were so disturbed they left the theater.
What?
And
Oh, I gotta look this
yeah,
up now.
You know,
yeah.
I
So
was
I
just like
don't.
looking it up.
So I don't know. So I was just shocked. I was like, 11 noms is kind of a lot. Granted, you know, some of it's like hair and makeup, and there's obviously Mark Ruffalo and Emma both got noms for their acting. So, you know, whatever. Killers of the Flower Moon,
Oh, she's
10, Barbie got
dancing.
8. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna like it. And I wish I knew more about it, but I will keep you guys updated, I guess, because I'm
Thank
seeing it
you.
tomorrow. I hope
Oh,
it's in the
true.
theater. But yeah, then kind of falls off. There's 5, 7, whatever. Okay, ignore all the words on the screen. I was just writing as I was thinking, and we've talked about some of this already. So obviously, snubs, I wrote, we have to discuss Barbie. I don't necessarily think the Margot thing's a snub. I just felt like we had to include it because that is the discourse all over the internet this week, is if Margot was
That's been all
snubbed.
over my timeline. So if it's there,
That's
like
how you know.
that's how you know.
Exactly. And a lot of people were upset that Greta Gerwig was not nominated for Best Director.
True.
Yeah.
I don't have a screenshot of Best Director, but and I did see someone else say this. It's like, you know, there's 10 nominees for Best Picture and there's 5 nominees for Best Director. So realistically, like you have to, I mean,
Cut
even
it.
if
You have to cut 5 out.
exactly. Even if you're just looking at Best Picture, like, and that's not even count. You might nominate someone else for Best Director for a movie that's not even part of the Best Picture. So
True.
I do feel like, you know, maybe not the biggest snub. She also, her and Margot are both nominated for other things. Like Margot was a producer of the movie, so I think she's even listed.
Yeah,
Where
she was
is
right
it
there.
under? Yeah, producers for Barbie. So it's like, I mean, she's still gonna get like her credit. And Barbie, was that adapted screenplay too? Greta's under there for adapted. Yeah, written by Greta Gerwig. So it's like, you know, I know that the Oscars is not maybe thinking like, well, they got, you know, they're not
Some
already,
over
but at
here,
this,
so
yeah, but it's not like they were completely actually snubbed. Like them being snubbed would be like, no, nah, like you actually feeling some type of way. So I just felt like with Best Director, there's also a lot of discourse about like, you know, there's never more than one woman director nominated for Best Director. So like, you know, but there's pieces and layers to that. And how do you really make the cut? I don't know. So I don't know if it's a true snub. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Charles Melton, he was the supporting actor for May December. There was a campaign online for this man to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
I love that.
Everyone after seeing him in May December was like, we need to get this man an Oscar. He will be the first person from Riverdale to get an Oscar.
Yes,
deserved.
Exactly.
Redemption era.
Yeah, so everyone is like, the Riverdale Oscar pipeline starts now. And I love that energy. And I wish I could say I was behind it, but we've already discussed I will not be watching the movie, so I can't actively say if he deserved it or not. From what I've heard, he did, but couldn't tell you. A lot of people on my feed were feeling like Andrew Scott was a snub. He was in All of Us Strangers. Feel free to Google him. He's the hot priest from Fleabag.
Oh, okay.
He was, I watched All of Us Strangers over the weekend before the Oscar noms because I've been trying to watch it and it was only in Hampton. So I had to drive all the way to Hampton to watch it. Him and Paul Mescal are in it, my 2 little Irish kings. And it was a good movie. Do I think he was snubbed for the lead actor? I'm leaning towards no. His performance is amazing. It's excellent. I loved him. He made me cry. I say that about like everything I watch, but it was a powerful performance. And I do feel like the kind of premise is he is a writer like for TV, and he has all this free time in his day because he's a writer, and he finds himself often like struggling with grief from the death of his parents. So within the first, this is not a spoiler because it's within the first like 20 minutes, it's part of like setting the scene. He like takes the train out of London to like his childhood home, and then he like sees his parents outside of the childhood home, and he like has dinner with them. So it's like he's like living in a memory almost. So there are moments, there are moments where he kind of like, you can see his demeanor shift from like him being like, he's a full grown adult, he's 45 years old in this movie, but like when he's with his parents who died when he was 12, you can see him kind of like with the childlike mannerisms of like wanting to like be approved of by your parents and like show them who you are. So I do feel like he had an excellent performance. Thinking about the other nominees for best lead actor, I don't know who else I would have edged him out over, except for maybe Bradley Cooper, just out of spite. But there's that. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The thing is, the Oscars hate animated movies.
Which is ridiculous because I feel like that's above an animated movie. Like it's so.
I would so agree with you, Adia.
Much better than that. And I played it for Phoenix because I love the first one, and he loved it. So I love it. But it's so much better than just like an animation. There's like so many different styles in there.
I think so too. A lot of people felt like it was snubbed for score, visual effects, and best picture. And I would agree on all of those. There were, I should have included the score, but I mean, Indiana Jones, nobody's talking about the score of that movie. It was a John Williams score. So that's probably why he got, you know, the legacy nom, whatever. But it's like, who else was on there? There was a couple other things. American Fiction was on there for score. And I'm sitting in the theater thinking,
was there even
the
music?
Movie? Yeah, there was, but the movie was good. But like, I feel like the score in Spider-Man drives the plot a little bit. Like,
it does.
It amps you up, and you're like, you can feel the tension just from the music. So that one was a big like loss, in my opinion, for animation across the board, because best picture was kind of a long shot. Just the Oscars hate animation. The Iron Claw, everyone was upset Zac Efron didn't get nominated.
I heard about that.
His performance was really good. It did not help that it was released in December 2023. So I mean, there's no time for a campaign from anybody. But wanted to include Saltburn. Have you guys seen people talking about Saltburn being snubbed from the Oscars at all? I feel like
no.
Okay, I was just curious because I feel like Saltburn's still so online right now. Like it's still so prevalent in the public eye for no reason. A lot of people, and I can't tell if it's a joke or not, were like, I feel like Barry Keoghan deserved a nom for supporting actor. Like, look what he did with the script. And it's like, if anything was snubbed for Saltburn, which I don't think it was, if anything, maybe production, whatever, for like the sets and stuff.
The set,
maybe. Yeah, that's the only thing I could see. They were right not to be nominated for acting noms, and that's nothing against Jacob and Barry. Like, love them, they're great, but like, come on, like people need to get over it. I wrote down Asteroid City. I haven't seen it. It's a Wes Anderson film. A lot of people talked about production design. That movie, I think, was a flop in general last year. Nobody I know was interested in seeing it, and nobody I know talked about it in general.
Never heard of her.
So, yeah.
The only reason why I've heard of this is because there was a huge billboard, like right at the entrance of LAX, to like as you pass it for Asteroid City, and they had like a bunch of, it was like a lot of like well-named people like in the lineup.
Oh yeah,
I gotta look it up.
Yeah, a lot of famous people in that movie. Big cast. But
other than that, know nothing about it.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised that it was like not included, but some people were like, surprised not to see it. I'm like, were you? No, literally, it probably didn't even make money, unfortunately. For the studio. It's fine. That's their choice. Priscilla, I don't think it was gonna get anything for acting or whatever, but I do feel like from what I've seen, costume or makeup like would have been nice for them to
from the pictures and the trailer I've seen, looked
pretty spot on.
Realistic.
And they actually had Priscilla, right? Like the actual Priscilla.
Yeah, like producing or co-signing.
Oh, love.
Yeah, she was heavily involved, I know. Yeah. That was like interesting. Nobody was really talking about that one. I just included that because I was like, a little surprising.
I couldn't
Are you?
watch that movie because Priscilla's last
Oh,
name is the same last name of my one guy from last year. And it's not even a
yikes.
common last name. So, and she says it in the first 2 seconds of the trailer. And this was right around the time when all this was happening. And I'm
And you were like, jump scare.
oh.
Yeah.
Hello.
Please, I cannot.
You're like, I can't
Trigger
even
warning
make
next
it
time.
5 minutes.
No, I
Yeah.
can't go anywhere without this. Yeah.
I couldn't watch it because I'm kind of over the Elvis thing. Like, I'm sure it was great because
I've been over it. Like,
right.
why
Well, yeah,
did they
we've talked about Elvis before on this podcast. We're all over Elvis.
We're Elvis aunties here.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
know
Yeah.
this was like supposed to be redemption for Priscilla because like you said, she was heavily involved. It's like telling her story, but it's like I can't do it. It's just
She should have
we've been
waited
inundated. I kind of think so too.
or released it earlier.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Poor
It's been beat to the
Sophia.
ground.
Sophia Coppola, I'm so sorry. I love you, but I can't do it. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. I didn't watch it. Heard a lot of great things about Rachel McAdams. People were surprised she didn't get nominated. I'm not surprised because she stayed like she wasn't doing any PR for the movie or anything. She just like they dropped it and moved on. Original song. We didn't talk about that category at all, and I can't be bothered to do it. I'm just Ken being nominated. We're joking.
That's
We're actually
crazy.
it's actually crazy.
They lost their credibility with that one. Like
But
that's
you see what you see what I'm saying though? Like those categories, like original song came up before lead actress. So I'm thinking Barbie's got every category. So then when Margot doesn't show up, it's just shocking.
like crazy.
Like
when it's like
what?
they're nominating this for being like best song, and then it's like so popular, like all of Barbie was so popular, and you're like, obviously Margot is gonna get nominated. Obviously,
Yeah, it was
gonna get
crazy.
nominated. No.
And it was crazy because in the moment, I'm Just Ken was the second song they announced. So it got nominated, like they announced it before they announced Billy's song. So I'm Just Ken pops up and I'm like, what is actually happening right now? Like that's not even the best song in the movie. But whatever, that's a whole thing. I do feel like they could have replaced I'm Just Ken with Olivia Rodrigo's song Can't Catch Me Now from the Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. I feel like that song was better. It was more relevant to the movie. It was just an overall better original song. That's kind of a lot to say. I feel we're already like what 45 minutes and no one's getting this far. That's like actually cares.
No one's
believe in it yourself.
Katie.
I feel like I'm just like spouting random opinions.
I love it.
Greta Lee and Celine Song from Past Lives. Greta Lee is the actress from Past Lives and Celine Song's the director. A lot of people were really upset about Celine Song's snub for Best Director, and I could see that over Barbie. Like Barbie had enough going on. Okay, and then the last one I put on here, which is so funny, and now that I've seen the Best Supporting Actors, like I understand why he's not on there. Dominic Sessa, he was the supporting actor in The Holdovers with Paul Giamatti and Divine Joy Randolph, who both were nominated for lead actor and supporting actress. I would have loved to see him up there, but once they were announced, the supporting actors, those were all very strong performances. So his was strong, but it was like his first movie. He's like 18 years old, 19 years old, and he had a great performance. Yeah, or even just like a nod, just like a hey, you did great. But hopefully he'll show up because The Holdovers is nominated for Best Picture. He's got some chaotic like interview answers on the red carpet, and we love to see it. New to the scene. People are new, they'll talk about anything. The next slide, I have some general like wins already. So obviously no one's been announced as like winners, but Lily Gladstone, she's the first Native American to be nominated for an acting like nomination for the Oscars. So love that. Okay, this one it has like an asterisk, as you see. Colman Domingo is the second openly gay actor portraying a gay character in a movie. I put like asterisk because I've been seeing some discourse online about this, and I think it's fair. Like saying openly gay, I feel like we're kind of getting past that because just because you're portraying a gay character, like does not mean you have to define your sexuality. So I do feel like we're getting away from that. A lot of people felt like that was a big thing because, I mean, there's a lot of actors in Hollywood that are portraying gay characters that may not, but again, we're not asking them to define their sexuality. So like there might be other things happening that whatever. But, anyway, a lot of people felt like that was like a big moment, I guess. And we love to see it. I also, as you can see, cannot wait to see you on the red carpet, King. So excited to see the fit.
Not carpet in all caps.
I was excited. Sterling Knight and Jeffrey Wright. It is the first time a Black lead actor and Black supporting actor were both nominated from the same film.
Go off, Kings.
For real. And it's crazy
the first time Erin speaks up.
We love to see you shine.
We do. And we hope Sterling wins the Oscar.
I told you at the beginning, I said any POC and Cillian Murphy. So there I was.
Erin woke up when she heard that.
It's crazy this hasn't happened before because, I mean, this is a whole nother thing I started to make a slide about, and then I was like, I can't. It opens like too much, the whole Oscars so white thing, like, and it's so
I would have loved to talk about it, but it's okay.
I know. We'll have to come back one day. We'll have to come back. Honestly, I mean, there's just too much data. Like, that's the thing. There's just too much to talk about it.
It's only 3 hours and 30 minutes. Like,
exactly.
That movie.
We are Martin Scorsese. Like, yeah. So yeah, I just the Oscars but there have been, like, the year that Moonlight was sweeping the Oscars, it's like the fact that didn't happen at that point, or I don't know, that's just one example that popped in my head. It might be the only one that I mean, because the Oscars are so white, like, I mean, so it's just crazy that this is the first time, but we'd love to see it. I didn't want to put this on here, but I felt like I had to. Sean Williams gets his 54th Oscar nom for the Indiana Jones score. I put that on there specifically because it's crazy that it's Indiana Jones. Like, nobody watched that movie. I'm so sorry to that man. Nobody watched that movie.
How many stories can you tell about Indiana Jones?
There are just so many.
We've talked about we need to stop doing, like, revamps, and this is one of those. This is one of them. But yeah, he now has the most Oscar nominations for a living person, and second only to Walt Disney, as we discussed.
About the quiz.
Okay, this is crazy too. This is the first time there are 3 women's directed movies under Best Picture for, like, nominations. So
that's crazy.
And 2024.
In the year of 2024.
Yeah. So the Oscars is really a white man's game,
96 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
So I just was, like, shocked. I don't know. Anyway, so now we move on to sort of the fun. I told you I have a lot to say. So I have included some screenshots of some of my favorite tweets from this week. You guys may have seen some of them already, but I wanted to include them. If I think what's coming next is coming, you guys may have seen it, and I'm gagged. I'm like, this can't be it. It is. You did it, or you did?
I did.
For everyone listening, it's the Hillary Clinton tweet.
Greta and
the
Margot.
cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
no, please read.
Sting to win.
No, yeah, read it.
Well, it can sting to win the box office, but not take home the gold. Your millions of fans love you. You're both so much more than Knuff. I don't even Knuff, whatever. I know that's from the movie. Hashtag Hillary Barbie. This
what does that have to do with?
First of all, Hill was waiting to tweet this. She knew. She was like, "Let me get back out there. Let me get back out there."
She was one of the voters for the Academy.
Honestly, she knew it was coming. She just needed to bring up
her losing
the parallel,
and then, which is too real. I mean.
Girl,
we get it. We wish
she's valid
too. So.
Yeah, exactly. Valid, but also, girl, it's been how many years now? 8?
Almost 10. Yeah.
It's crazy. I have never in my life seen, well, I probably have, like, Twitter change its mind so fast about a movie. Before this tweet, everyone's riding for Margot, everyone's riding for Greta. This tweet comes out, everyone hates Barbie, everyone hates
Barbie.
Because you don't want to be in agreement, like
it's crazy.
That's so
I just
funny.
Like,
it's the fact that, like, she could have told them personally. Like, she's at the level that she could have, like, told them personally, but no, she wanted to post it on Twitter for the world to see, and then ends it with, not only are you Knuff, which is going back to the thing of like it's about Ken and not about
No,
Barbie,
you are
but,
much
like,
more than Kenough.
Still, it's the whole thing. It's every
She was
moment
trying
of
to tie
this.
in too many Barbie references, and it was Kenough. Okay, sister. Like,
we've had enough. We've had enough.
We actually, okay, this is going to a place that I wasn't going to take it because it's getting into real life. Tell me why when we went to Utah, someone on my flight was wearing the Barbie hoodie, and I was like, look,
I've
like
seen
the
way too
tie-dye
many
one.
people with the tie-dye Kenough.
Okay, but I love
hoodie.
that though.
Somebody said the difference between Gen Z and millennial is like a millennial has the money and is cringy enough to buy the sweatshirt, and I co-sign that.
I would. I totally would.
It probably look cute on you. On a white person,
No, it would.
it looks stupid.
You.
I'm Kenough. You're a white person. Go away.
Well, because it's like, I don't know.
So
I just feel like it's whatever.
It's very cringy.
It's like
anyway,
me a little.
that's exactly what it is.
Okay, thank you, Erin. I feel like you're picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm with you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, some more tweets. There, the next few are actually like there's a few on one slide. This one I just felt like was impactful enough on its own, you know, like it just needed a moment. So let's start left to right. Barbie getting a nom. Literally all of them.
She was like
Barbie getting Barbie getting a nom for Best Picture, but not Best Director is so weird because like no one walked away from that thinking that was the best movie of the year, but everyone walked away from that thinking how they should let more women direct big budget fun movies.
True.
I think that's real. We all just said it wasn't the best movie of the year, but it was still fun and we had a good time.
Yeah.
And women deserve more money. Lily Gladstone and Divine Joy Randolph are going to win their categories, but yeah, it's a big blow for feminism that the pretty blonde lady didn't get nominated for the mega blockbuster. Sure. Not much more to say there.
T right there.
No lies. No lies detected.
Hit the nail on the head. I'm not gonna read the whole Simu Liu thing because it's like kind of a lot, but he basically is like, Margot and Greta worked so hard on this film, like nobody wanted to help them make it, the production, like the studio didn't want to fund it, and it's like the whole point, they got nominated for producer and for being a writer, and that's everything that he's
what
saying
they got
that
nominated.
They did. Yeah. He's saying, oh, it was so hard for them to make it, but they did it, and it's like that's literally what a producer does. So love that.
I saw so many people, like so many celebs come out and be like, oh, like wish Margot and Greta blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, but they did, they like their names are on the ballot, like, yeah, hello,
yeah,
they got the noms anyway.
And I know Ryan Gosling came out with like a statement about how he was like you know, proud of his nomination but sad that like other people didn't get nominated. But I think the bigger thing, which we haven't even talked about at all, is it is taking away from America Ferrera's nomination, which it was gimme. Like they gave her that speech, so it was like kind of a gimme. But I mean, it is a lot for her to be nominated and for us to just like not talk about it because, you know, we're mad about feminism or whatever, and we're mad that Ken's nominated, but like there is a woman actually nominated from the movie, so like
a real woman. Yeah.
Exactly. So you know, some pros and cons, I guess. We get a little further from Barbie, thank God. Well, I guess this is Barbie still, but what if I told you Barbie was a great and fun movie but didn't deserve to be nominated for anything outside of costume and production? I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear was snubbed. I stand by that. I don't know what
the gif though.
I know. I don't know what category I would have loved to see them in, but that movie was so fun and it was so fresh and it was so stupid and I loved it. So
they need a silly goofy category, you know,
for real. Maybe I think Elizabeth Banks either directed or produced or both that movie, and I would have loved to see her nominated for something for that. I love Cocaine Bear was so good. And then the Homelander gif, the Ironclad complete shit out. Zac Efron, I'm sorry I wasn't in charge of A24's campaigning department. That's fair. I think it had more to do with the time frame, not necessarily the campaign, but yeah, you know, the Homelander gif is a vibe. I
love that.
I'm obsessed with him. Bradley Cooper up for Maestro and Andrew Scott not up for All of Us Strangers, hitting the wall. That's the only one I could see him swapped out for anyway. I don't think you should be allowed to complain about Margot getting snubbed unless you actually watch the 5 Best Actress nominees to confirm her performance was better than one of theirs. Ooh. I think that's fair.
That's
Yeah.
real.
I love this creator. On YouTube, I watch a lot of his stuff. His name's Shafrillas Productions on YouTube. He does a lot of he ranks a lot of movies. So he'll watch a whole studio's filmography and then rank them. And he has a lot of fun insight. So love him. I don't really want to read that long one, but it's basically saying there have been tons of other directors that were nominated for Best Picture that were snubbed from Best Director. And it kind of goes back again to we're always going to have 10 nominees for Best Picture and 5 nominees for director. So
yeah.
I would love to point out though that Dune was one of them. So
I know I saw that and I said, that's why she included it.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing. I included this info about Jesse Plemons. You guys might recognize him from Friday Night Lights or one of these 7 movies. But he has been in 7 Best Picture nominated movies, and I just love that for him.
Where's
he's just out here getting
award?
a check. Yeah, exactly. I think we're wrapping up. Okay, this is one of the last ones, and I had to include this because we have talked previously about 9/11 to Twilight to the 50 Shades pipeline. So
I saw this tweet actually.
Yeah, on the set of Tenet, Robert Pattinson was reading a book about Oppenheimer and recommended it to Christopher Nolan, and then Christopher Nolan went to make Oppenheimer based on Robert Pattinson's recommendation. So it's the pipeline just continues. You know what I mean?
Wow.
We
that's
are
great.
Because of 9/11, we got Oppenheimer. We're just going to continue it. What else is Oppenheimer going to inspire? Who knows? And we'll keep the pipeline going.
Oh my gosh.
But I had to put this because we've talked about it before and I thought you guys would think it's funny. I hope we're getting, this is what I was hoping we were getting to.
The hate that you have for this man to include him.
I love it.
Has not been nominated in 12 years. Okay.
It's not even on the list.
No.
And she's like, but wait.
Did anybody see this coming? No, because it's been 12 years since I've thought about a Ben Affleck movie. Except for him being in J-Lo's movie, which will be
I still haven't watched the trailer.
Nominated.
Oh my gosh.
That's the next time he's gonna win an Oscar.
So
that'll be his next Oscar.
I hope not.
Oscars in the 2025. We'll see you there.
Does it come out this year, the movie?
I think I think so, yeah.
Can you please tell me, did you draw the X over his photo, or did you
she
did like that?
Of course I did. Look at how shoddily it's drawn. I put that there.
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking, we've talked a lot about how it's all just white men performances. Basically, I was just the Oscars are a scam. They're fun and I love them, but they're a scam. This is all a popularity contest. So I was you know how scammy it is.
You know how we can tell it's really
something from 12 years ago.
So and then 14 before that. So
right. So yeah, Ben Affleck has 2 Oscars. And the thing that pisses me off more is he's only been nominated for 2 Oscars. So he's at 100% win rate right now.
2 out of 2, baby.
Yeah. Wow. But the crazy thing is I didn't know anything about Argo because I blocked this man out of my life, as you guys know. This man directed, produced, and starred in Argo. So this Best Picture win was kind of a big deal.
He's a Renaissance man.
No credit to him.
Anyway, I'm gonna start I'm directing and making. Thank you.
But no credit to him.
Yeah, I thought you guys might think this was fun, and I stand by. The Oscars are a scam, and I will leave us with probably the most important quote of all. He said, we're not reading the whole thing, but they basically were he was in an interview and they were like, what does it say that no Korean film has ever been nominated for an Oscar? This was pre the Parasite nominations. He said, it's strange, but it's not a big deal. The Oscars are not an international film festival. They're very local. And
that's so real.
That. And
I love him.
I think that's a good place for this to end. We're having fun talking about the white men, but they're not the be all end all. This is not the Oscars may be
So
to
funny.
some the biggest award show of the year, but it's a local. He's calling us locals. So
I love that.
I had to include that. And that's all I have to say at the moment about the 2024 Oscars. So
when is it
follow her
airing?
on Twitter to find
March 10th
her
at
other
7
take.
p.m.
And you'll be live tweeting it. So
probably because it's a Sunday night.
Tune in to Katie's live tweets.
No, for real. Although who knows? I feel like most of my opinions are here. So I mean,
tune into this podcast episode for Katie's.
Yeah, exactly. If anybody else wins, I'm pissed. So there's
Period.
that. Period.
That's so funny. Thank
you guys for putting up with me.
Wow, that was amazing.
Well, when we were talking about topics, I'm like, I have a lot to say about the Oscars, unfortunately. So maybe this is the time.
This is the time. And it was.
I guess. I wish I had more photos, but that seemed like too much. I'm not putting a photo for every man up there.
Perfect. Yeah. No.
I hope you guys were Googling along the way. That's all you know.
I was.
Yeah.
I for sure was.
Perfect. That's what I was banking on. And to all of our listeners, just Google. If you don't know who they are, don't worry about it.
Google along.
Yeah, Google along.
That's so
funny. That's all I have to say on that. I don't have any loves and icks for this week. I feel like most of them would have revolved around this. So if you guys would love to take it away, I'm down for...
I have a couple loves and one ick. One love, I saw Mean Girls, as I was said before, loved it. Thought it was great. Wish the girl who had played Katie was a little more, her vocals for the songs were a little better, but like we can't all be Renee Rapp. So, we move on. I've been watching Modern Family, love it. So that's that. I'm back on my walks.
Love that.
She's being a fit girl. And my last love, Austin Butler hired that voice coach to help him.
I thought that was like the Onion. I thought that was like the Onion. I didn't know that was real.
No, I thought it was real.
Is it real?
I thought he mentioned it.
It was from like a real site, like a real. It wasn't like a fake gossip site.
Yeah, I did. So it was just like, but he's trying to change. So, love that. My ick, it's been cold and rainy in LA the past week, and like not just like light sprinkles like it usually is when LA is rainy. It's been monsooning. Like it literally, like some places are flooded because LA just can't handle that rain. But anyway, it was actually sunny today, so that's nice.
I have one love, which will be its
Are we all
own
gonna guess
episode.
It? Okay.
I mean, you can.
Let's all say it.
Hockey.
Okay.
Yes, I am officially a hockey girly now. I went to my first hockey game with Katie last week, and since then I've been to 4 games total.
Yes.
Over the last week. Yeah, it's like the best thing ever, and I'm like fully into it now. I'm in on the podcast. I downloaded the ESPN app. Okay,
yes.
I'm like really into it.
I'm trying to watch the Admirals on the road, baby.
No, literally,
they live stream.
I'm learning like the lingo, the names, the history, all the stuff. I'm trying to get Phoenix into it when he turns 3. Like I'm ready to go.
You're getting him on the ice. Like
yes, he's getting on the ice at the age of 3. I've already looked it up. Like we're ready to go. He's gonna play.
That's so cute.
AAA hockey, and then he's gonna go to a D1 school, probably like in Wisconsin or Connecticut or something, and then he's gonna go straight to the NHL.
I can't wait to be a hockey aunt. Like I'm
exactly
here.
And you all will be at the glass, like
of course,
right there. So and if that doesn't work, then I will be a wag. So shout out to number 17.
Oh,
I could be both. But yeah, that's my love for the week. The week, the month, probably the year. I love to hyperfixate, so who knows how long this will last. But
I feel like I've created a monster, but I'm obsessed with it.
Like, I love it.
The funny thing is, all of the people that are on my close friends, like y'all know that I do things 0 or 100. So like the shock that everyone had that I already had merch, I was going to the 4th game. Like when I said I was a hockey girly, I said I was a hockey girly. So like the response to people being like, wait, you were serious. I'm like, what do you mean I was serious? Like,
You know,
yes, I
I
was
knew you were
serious. Like,
serious, but it
Mhm.
was wearing the Caps merch to the Arrows game is what I was like shocked at. But like when
I
we're trying to
waited
get
to wear that.
I was mostly surprised at the time frame because in my head I'm thinking, all right, she's debuting a sweatshirt on Wednesday, which means she got it at least by Tuesday, and she went to her first hockey game on Saturday. So the timeline is
she's
not adding up.
quick.
Did she pay for express shipping? Did she?
She did.
That's what I
She
want
did,
to
and
know.
she's quick.
I found her at Target on clearance for
Okay.
$15.
Love.
Because, you know,
Okay.
Target
does have
sells,
some good sportswear.
they have the
when you want it
sportswear
quick.
locally. Yes. So
Okay,
I did,
good point.
I did
Okay.
find her.
Then I take it back. I'm less surprised now because when I thought you ordered it, I'm like, she did that.
The
But
time
finding
is
it
Overnighted.
no.
No, I specifically
Okay.
went to Target to find it,
I
and it was
love
the
that.
only item that they had in my size. So
I mean, it was so cute.
It's cute.
yeah, I cut it, I cropped it, I made it really cute. I was looking up game day outfits. Yeah, it's
I
my life
love
now.
game day outfit TikTok.
Yes.
Me too. I'm on
That's
there.
everything. Yeah.
So already ordered a whole new outfit for the next game. It's so cute. It's a yellow beanie with a yellow corduroy jacket.
Oh, I love a yellow
I
corduroy.
cannot wait to see
So
the debut of this.
can't wait.
I
That's my
that.
love. I don't have any hates this week.
Very
Okay,
positive
love.
week.
Anyway.
Got a puck from the
Definitely.
game. I mean,
Oh,
you guys
yes.
were vibing.
Got a pup from the
Crazy.
game. Got a follow from one of the faves on the team. Yeah.
Come on the
no, he played-
podcast.
Please. Please.
What does he have to say? I don't know.
He could teach us about hockey.
I would love
Good point.
teach us French something.
I'm gonna take it back. I have a hate for this week. It was the guy
Oh.
behind me at the hockey game last night. He was like,
What was he doing?
So I was like, I asked Scott after I got home, I was like, could it be mansplaining if it's like primarily a men's sport? Like, I feel like he was mansplaining to the woman next to him. Like, clearly the girl that he was on a date with, like, has not been to a hockey game before. So, like, I get it, but like,
Yeah.
it was his whole energy. So he's sitting behind me and he's like telling her about offsides. He will not shut the fuck up about offsides. Every time they come to our side of the ice, he's like, did you see that? He waited to go behind the line. It's like, bro,
that is
like,
crazy.
we are like that.
Let her
does not
watch
care.
the game.
Let her just like vibe and watch.
Nobody cares about offsides except the refs. So we're not like, there was that. And then at one point there was like, what was it? There was some sort of penalty and he was like, oh, maybe we'll get to see the replay. But like, this was like halfway through the game. And I'm like, I turned around and I said to him, I said, well, okay, also he was clearly not from this area. So I don't know how they got to this game because he kept saying Norfolk. So he was like, you see the Norfolk guys? And I was like,
Was he from like, was a team fan of the other team?
I don't think so, because I was trying to pick that up too. I'm like, does he like the Canadian team? But he kept using both of their full names. So I really think he was just like an outside
guy at a hockey game.
Yeah. And so I turned around and I was like, well, they only show the replay if the other guys did something bad. If the Norfolk guys, if we did something bad, they don't show the replay. But it's like, we're halfway through the game. You're watching for fucking offsides and you're not picking up that they're not showing the replay for like the Norfolk guys doing bad shit. Like, come on. I don't know. I just felt like his priorities were like not in check. I'm like, I don't know much about hockey, but okay, this is so stupid. He's talking about the Zamboni because she's like, what is that? And he's like, oh, it has hot water on the back and it drags a mop. I'm like, there's fucking nitrogen. That's how it refreezes the ice. Like, bro, you need to like
Google, like,
read a book. Google. Like, come on.
Just, like, please shut up. Like, I don't know.
So
I don't know.
funny.
It was just like his energy. Because like people talk about hockey and you could say whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. Care about offsides. But it was just like something about like the way it was happening. I was like, not. They left after the second period, and I was like, thank God.
Thank you. Bye.
Please go.
Bye.
Sorry.
What a night.
I loved that ick. That
It was so
chaotic.
specific. I came home and I was talking to Scott and I'm like, I was mansplaining. He's like, two actually. I was like, oh,
He can
okay.
because the guy could have been like, oh, like this is what offsides is, and then left it at that.
And
But
that's
like
it.
he kept going,
Mhm.
and that's when it becomes mansplaining.
That's what my issue was. I'm like, we get it. Like, I heard you explain it. She heard you explain it. We get it. Like
The whole
The whole row
area,
got
this
it.
area, we got it. So
yeah,
funny.
exactly.
That
Well,
was
thank you to
crazy.
all of our listeners.
Yes.
I would love if you're at the hour and 15 mark, please comment who you want to win the Oscars. I would love to know what our audience thinks and who they want to win, because the discourse is everywhere. Everyone's against Maestro, but everything else is up for grabs. So I'm curious.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Maestro just swept? That would be crazy.
Oh gosh, I would love that.
That would
What
be
if
so funny.
Maestro swept with Ben Affleck announcing? Can't even riot.
If that man shows up, I'm boycotting.
Oh my gosh. That's
Oh,
so
man.
funny. Well,
Anyway,
that's been the episode, y'all. Thank
comment
you for tuning
below.
in.
That's that.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.